Heartwarming moment, billionaire discovers poor girl's plea to save her brother. Incredible life-changing connection unfolds. Lily sat on the edge of her brother Max's bed, her small fingers tracing the curve of his iron railing, a fortress of hope against the dark cloud of illness hovering over them. At just 12, her heart pulsed with the courage of 1,000 stories. The flicker of city lights from their dingy apartment hinted at the bustling life outside, but inside, silence hung heavy. Max lay pale, his breath shallow, while Lily's own heart raced with worry. Their single mom worked double shifts, leaving Lily to battle the bullies at school and the weight of responsibilities at home. Every day was an obstacle course. She juggled classes and chores, battling whispers and laughter from kids who couldn't possibly understand why she always wore the same shoes. "Look at the poor girl," they'd say. Lily learned to keep her chin up. The love for Max forged a strong shield. She would lean down and whisper to him, "We'll get through this, I promise." But as the days passed, hope felt more fragile. One night, after a particularly harrowing afternoon, Lily sank to her knees by the kitchen table. Tears fell onto her notepad as she penned a letter to Steve Harrington, the billionaire down the street with the cold demeanor and unrelatable life. "Dear Mr. Harrington," she wrote, pouring her heart onto the page. "I'm writing for my brother Max. He's very sick, and I don't know who else to turn to. Could someone like him really care?" She sealed the letter with hope, wishing it could bridge the chasm between their worlds. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." Weeks passed, and then one fateful evening, at a glitzy charity event, Steve found Lily's letter crumpled in his coat pocket. Just another sob story, he scoffed at first. But as he read about Max, something shifted within him. The crowd, adorned in designer wear, drank champagne while ignoring the struggles outside their bubble. The laughter felt hollow next to Lily's desperate words. Intrigued, he sought answers about this girl whose life was so different from his. The next day, a community meeting buzzed with anxiety, residents sharing their fragile lives, echoing stories of pain and survival. Lily stood there, clutching her letter, heart pounding with courage. As Steve listened, grappling with his ingrained privilege, he saw the faces of resilience staring back. A flicker of empathy ignited, stirring his conscience. Would he step down from his pedestal and try to connect with these strangers he had never regarded? His chance came when the room pinched into silence, all eyes on him. Torn between rich expectations and a desire to act, Steve faced a choice that could transform their lives. He stood, heart pounding, and declared his intent to champion Max's cause. The murmurs exploded around him. Some welcomed him while others sneered. Just as the crowd buzzed with mixed emotions, Lily felt a rush of hope. She had opened the heart of a billionaire. Yet deep down, she couldn't shake a creeping doubt. Was this a fleeting moment, or could it be the start of something real? The weight of unanswered questions hung heavy over her as they lay on the brink of an unexpected journey, leaving beating hearts and eyes wide with possibility. Lily's heart raced, a drum against her ribcage, as she stared at Steve Harrington. Here was the man whose world seemed galaxies away from her own, suddenly standing before her, vulnerability cracked through his polished facade. The crowd in the community hall fell into whispering symphonies, each person's opinion echoing around them. Would they accept his words, or would they show doubt in his newfound ambition to connect with them? "Thank you for your bravery, Lily," he said, his voice steady but tinged with uncertainty. "I can't begin to understand what you've been through, but I want to help." His gaze swept across the room, a room filled with faces that mirrored her own feelings of uncertainty, hope intermingled with skepticism. Lily nodded, feeling a flicker of warmth spread through her chest. Could it really be happening? Her dreams were built on her nightly prayers for Max, whispers filled with promise, "We'll find a way." But here stood Steve, like a lighthouse in her fog, a beacon she hadn't known to seek. "Thank you," she managed to whisper, her voice barely rising above the murmur surrounding them. Her eyes stayed focused on Max, asleep just a few miles away, unaware of the unfolding drama. If only he could see this moment, a moment filled with the potential to mend the cracks life had created. The chatter grew louder as Steve laid out a plan. He proposed fundraising events, tapping into his wealth not just for donations, but as a bridge to forge understanding. "Lily, I want to host a charity event and auction and dedicate the proceeds specifically to help Max and families like yours," he declared. The room gasped. Gasps of disbelief and joy intertwined. To Lily, each word rang like a bell in the still night, a harbinger of hope. Yet in the same breath, the doubts clouded her mind. Could someone like him, someone who danced with the elite, really understand the depth of their struggle? What if he jets off to another gala after this? What if it's just a passing whim? Her inner voice taunted. How could she trust that his interest wasn't simply a publicity stunt to prove he wasn't the heartless billionaire everyone believed him to be? As if sensing her skepticism, Steve caught her eye, an earnestness shimmering in his own. "I promise I won't back down from this. I see the strength in your community, your determination. It deserves recognition." His passion ignited enthusiasm, murmurings of agreement rising among the audience. Lily could feel the tension in the room shift. People began to support the idea, speaking out, giving suggestions, sharing stories even deeper than her own. Joyful voices rang through cracks of despair. They were rising together, united. But still, Lily sat frozen. The push and pull of hope and fear caught in her throat. She felt the world spinning around her. Would they really gather behind her brother's battle? Could a billion-dollar bond pave the way for lives changed? Her mind was flooded with thoughts when a hand reached for her. It was Steve. He smiled, gentle and reassuring, with genuine concern carved into his features. "We can do this together, Lily. You're not alone anymore. You'll see." Tears began gathering at the corners of her eyes. Would she dare to believe? Could this moment truly lead to something bigger, a chance to save Max and spark change in their lives? Swallowing hard, she nodded, her heart swelling with tentative hope. But before she could respond, another voice broke through, an older man standing up, filled with unbridled emotion. "We're living in the unsung stories, and it's time the world listened." This was just the beginning. With an uncertain future shading their hopes, Lily's gaze drifted to Steve once more. Did he understand the depth of the journey ahead? Only time would tell if their connection could triumph over doubt and despair. As the room began to swell with voices, excitement sparked like dry leaves catching fire. Lily felt the energy around her, a wave of hope cresting and crashing in tandem with her heartbeat. It was contagious, this unfolding moment, but could she trust it? Steve stood confidently in front of the crowd, taking their enthusiasm and molding it into a tangible force. "Let us hold this event in 2 weeks, he proposed, optimism shining through every polished syllable. "And I'll personally match every dollar raised. Together, we can create something incredible." His words ignited a blaze of energy. People began nodding vigorously, some spoke up hailing Steve's intent as a true commitment. The encouraging chatter wrapped around Lily like a warm blanket, but still, a knot tightened in her stomach. She had witnessed the fragility of hope too many times before. "Who's with us?" Steve shouted, lifting his hands as if to beckon the crowd, urging them to rally behind the cause. In the back, an older woman stood up, her gray hair cascading down her back like a waterfall of wisdom. "My son was in a similar situation, and we nearly lost him. I'm in." Others followed, standing in solidarity, their eyes shining with shared pain and resolute strength. Lily's heart swelled as she looked out at the growing number of supporters. Each face represented a story, a battle fought in silence. Yet there was still a flicker of doubt, like a shadow lurking behind the light. Could their collective power outweigh her fears? What about details? A voice broke through the crowd, the voice of a local business owner. What if we find local artists to donate? We can make this big a real movement. Excitement buzzed in the air, and Lily felt the current of hope ebb and flow around her. Conversation sparked like fireworks, ideas tossed back and forth. The community was stirring, and she was caught in the swell, trying to keep afloat. But one thought cemented itself in her mind as the laughter and camaraderie filled the air. What if this all fell apart? What if Steve vanished into his world of glitz and glam when the event was done? What if he couldn't handle the weight of their struggles, once the spotlight was off him? Lily, he said softly, sensing her hesitation, let me help you. I won't let you down. His sincerity unfurled a thread of warmth that wrapped around her heart, but it was still encased in a fragile shell of doubt. Amidst the growing noise, Lily rose to speak. The crowd's chatter quieted. She took a deep breath, pushing past her anxieties. I appreciate this more than anyone could know, her voice trembled but grew stronger with each word. There is so much at stake, not just for my brother but for all of us. This community has faced so much, and I just want to make sure we don't lose our way in this. Steve stepped closer, his presence a solid anchor. We won't. I swear it. This will be about all of us. As Lily met his gaze, hope flickered brighter, yet the question lingered like an echo in her mind. Could their shared goal truly heal the scars of their lives? Just then, the tension melted into laughter as another volunteer pulled the crowd back into spirited excitement, planning roles and responsibilities. But as Lily looked on, something deeper shifted in her heart. She realized the true weight of their efforts. This wasn't just about Max anymore, it was about transforming lives and rediscovering a sense of belonging. The very idea surged through her veins, igniting the kind of determination she hadn't felt in years. But in the core of this euphoria, a nagging fear remained. Would the community's bond be strong enough against the storms they'd all faced? As the first notes of a cheerful melody rang out from a nearby piano, someone had started playing a hopeful tune. Lily wrapped her arms around herself, the swell of anticipation building. Could they become more than just a support system? Could they be a family? The whispers of the crowd rose around her, but there, amidst the thrill, one lingering thought pressed against her mind, was the strength of their unity. Enough to turn the tides of fortune? The answers would come soon enough, but as she glanced at Steve, who was busy igniting even more momentum, she wondered if they could harness this energy before doubt had a chance to take over once again. But that question loomed larger than ever. Could hope truly withstand the trials ahead? Lily stood there, her breath mingling with the rising warmth of energy in the room. The laughter, the chatter, the music all swirled together, creating a vibrant tapestry of sound. It felt like life was pushing forward all around her, yet she was stuck, anchored in her worries. What if their budding hope was nothing more than a fleeting illusion? As discussions unfolded, she cast a glance at Steve, who was in the thick of it, tossing ideas like confetti. We'll set up a volunteer team, spread the word through social media. We can even have a silent auction. His enthusiasm was infectious, yet Lily could not shake the knot in her stomach. Lily. A voice pulled her back from her swirling thoughts. It was the gray-haired woman again, a warm smile lighting up her otherwise lined face. Why don't you join us on the steering committee? We need strong voices like yours. The invitation hung in the air, heavy but inviting. Could she really step into that role, risking her fragile sense of security? Before she could respond, the crowd erupted in laughter, distracted by someone's terrible impersonation of a celebrity. See? Steve grinned, catching her eye again. We're already building something special. His faith in her sparked a tiny ember of strength, yet doubt clung to the back of her mind. Was she truly cut out for this? Would they expect her to lead them? Overwhelmed, she raised her hand to silence the crowd. I want to do this. I really do. But I need to know that when we step forward, we'll all be in this together. The words found the surface of her heart, her vulnerability laid bare. "You can count on us," someone shouted from the back, sending a wave of agreement rippling through the crowd. "We are one family." As cheers erupted around her, a sense of belonging began to seep into her heart. Maybe, just maybe, this was more than a committee, it was a community united by hope. Lily turned to look at Steve, who was smiling with pride, but in that fleeting moment, she caught a glimpse of something deeper in his eyes. Was it determination or something more personal? The crowd buzzed with ideas as they formed teams, and Lily felt herself swept up in a current of purpose. Decisions flowed easily, and as laughter echoed with each new suggestion, her nervousness began to dissolve. For a moment, she let herself imagine what this event could bring. Funds raised to assist families, awareness about their struggles, and perhaps, a renewed sense of security rippling through the community. Yet, as hope grew, so too did her uncertainty. What if lost dreams surfaced again? What if they were met with obstacles that felt insurmountable? In the midst of the laughter, one sobering thought pressed on her heart: would the promise of unity hold up when faced with real challenges? Suddenly, the music changed to a slower tune, drawing her attention. Couples formed on the dance floor, sharing moments of joy amidst the chaos. She watched them as they swayed together, completely lost in their own world. The intimacy of their connection struck her. It was a reminder of what they were all striving for: belonging, love, hope. With a newfound clarity, she gathered her courage. "Yes. Count me in," she called out, a lightness in her voice. "Let us organize. Let us truly make a difference." The surge of energy that met her declaration was electric. The crowd erupted again, but Lily caught a glimpse of Steve's unwavering gaze. The weight of their shared dreams weighed heavy in the air as he stepped forward. "Let us do this, Lily. Together." As the night wore on, laughter and plans intermingled effortlessly, but in the depths of her heart, a deeper question pierced through. Would her resolve hold when faced with the truth of their lives, and the reality of what lay ahead? And then, amidst the noise of celebration, a silence seeped in. One bittersweet truth lingered: what if hope could be both a strength and a heavy burden? With every step forward, could they truly fortify their bond against the storms yet to come? The night gradually transformed, the buzz of laughter weaving into a tapestry of plans and goals. Lily felt the energy of the room surge around her, but an undercurrent of anxiety twisted within. She could see the smiling faces, hear the promises of unity, but doubts lingered like shadows at the edges of light. As she stood with Steve and the gray-haired woman, the steering committee began forming readily, excited whispers filling the gaps in her confidence. They were more than volunteers, they were a team. And yet, each cheer felt like an echo of a question she couldn't shake: could she achieve the vision they had laid before them? "Lily, you okay?" Steve's voice broke into her thoughts, and she realized the weight of his concern. She gave him a small smile, but inside, there was a tempest. What if all this hope unraveled before it could bloom? "Yeah, just thinking." Her voice was barely audible, swallowed by the excitement around her. "Don't overthink it. We're all in this together, remember?" His hand grazed her shoulder, a gesture of support that sent a flicker of warmth through her. But before she could reply, the gray-haired woman clapped her hands, gathering attention once more. "All right, everyone. Let us break into teams to start brainstorming ideas. I want each of you to come up with 3 suggestions." As the crowd dispersed into groups, Lily found herself on the outskirts, observing the swirling mix of enthusiasm and camaraderie. She wanted to dive in, to contribute, but something tethered her emotions, holding her back like a resistant tide. "Hey!" A young girl with pigtails bounded over, her grin wide. "Are you going to help us come up with ideas? I have a great one." Her innocent excitement pierced through Lily's worries, reminding her of the simple joys this gathering aimed to bring. She knelt to the girl's level, drawn in by her energy. "What's your idea? We should have a bake sale. My mom makes the best brownies. Everyone loves them." The girl's eyes sparkled with dreams of chocolate treats and smiles, a reminder of the sweet simplicity in giving. Lily chuckled, the tension in her heart loosening just a bit. That's a fantastic idea. Brownies are definitely a win. Will you help? The girl's sincerity disarmed Lily in the most genuine way. The request settled into Lily's chest, building warmth. This was what it was about, making a difference, no matter how small. And right then, she realized she didn't have to carry the weight of their dreams alone. Yes. Let us do it together. She exclaimed, standing up with renewed spirit. As they walked toward a cluster of forming teams, a wave of determination washed over her. She embraced her role in this community, sharing the burden, the laughter, the hope. But as they pieced their plans together, a flicker of doubt danced in the back of her mind, persistent and nagging. What challenges lay ahead, and would they still stand united when faced with setbacks? Just then, the music began again, upbeat and full of rhythm, drawing more people toward the dance floor. Lily watched as couples twirled and laughed, their joy infectious. Somewhere in the back of her mind, she wondered, could they harness this energy for their cause? Could their unity weather the storms yet uncharted? The gray-haired woman caught her gaze from across the room, nodding as if sensing her thoughts. Lily. Join us. She called, her arms wide open. The warmth in her voice beckoned Lily, urging her forward into the heart of the celebration. As she moved to join the circle, Lily felt a breath of uncertainty wash over her. Could her heart withstand the weight of everything that lay ahead? And even more pressing, would this community endure? Lost in these doubts, she hesitated. But just before she could turn away, she caught Steve's eye, a silent reassurance in his steady gaze. The music pulsed, drawing her in like a tide. And as she took a step toward the dance floor, her heart raced. What awaited her in this beautiful chaos? The question lingered in her mind, as vibrant and alive as the music itself. Could her hope truly spark a lasting change amidst the uncertainty? Lily stepped onto the dance floor, the rhythm wrapping around her like a vibrant shawl. A couple spun past her, laughter bubbling up as they twirled together. For a moment, she stood still, watching the scene unfold, a whirlwind of joy that felt so distant and yet so achingly close. Her heart thudded, a mix of excitement and dread swirling together. Come on, Lily. Join the fun. Steve called out, his voice pulling her from the sidelines. The pulsating music seemed to demand connection, to sweep away her doubts with every beat. Taking a breath, she surrendered to the moment. She moved toward Steve, their hands clasping together as they found a rhythm of their own. As they danced, the song shifted to a slower tune. Couples embraced, their bodies swaying gently, and Lily felt a pang of longing. She missed that deep connection one built on trust and shared dreams. But as she danced with Steve, she also sensed something shifting inside her, like a shell cracking open. I can't believe how many people showed up tonight, he said, a smile lighting his face. That bake sale idea is just the beginning. Yeah, it's a great start, Lily agreed, her confidence growing as she realized how contagious their enthusiasm was. And I love that this is bringing everyone together. Steve nodded, his expression serious for a moment. Just remember, it's okay to feel nervous. This is a big deal. His words hung in the air, and she contemplated the magnitude of what they were trying to accomplish. So many expectations rested upon their shoulders. What if they failed? Before she could voice her thoughts, the gray-haired woman stepped forward again, clamping her hands for attention. All right, everyone. Let us gather back for a moment. The crowd shifted, the anticipation crackling like static electricity in the air. Who wants to share their ideas first? She asked, her eyes sparkling with encouragement. Lily felt her heart race. Everyone seemed so eager, so confident. What if her ideas didn't measure up? Just as the anxiety began to creep back in, the little girl from earlier caught her gaze, bouncing on her toes, clearly bursting with excitement. I want to share. The girl exclaimed, eyes sparkling as she bounced closer to the center of the room. My brownies will make everyone happy. Lily's heart swelled. The innocence and eagerness of one small voice ignited something within her. How could she let her fear darken the light this girl shone so brightly? I'll help make signs for the bake sale. Lily called out, surprising herself with the strength in her voice. The more the merrier. Steve added, his enthusiasm pushing the momentum. As others chimed in with their ideas, craft fairs, community gardening, movie nights, Lily felt her spirit soar. A sense of unity began to bloom in the room, weaving them all closer with each suggestion. It was more than just brainstorming, it was the manifestation of hope and passion. The laughter and cheers filled Lily with warmth. Yet in the background, her doubts loomed, stubborn but faint, like a distant storm. She realized that even as they moved together towards something so bright, life had a way of throwing unexpected challenges their way. As the last of the ideas were shared, the gray-haired woman smiled and announced, "All right. Let us take a moment to reflect on everything we've shared. And remember, when times get tough, we stand together." Lily's heart fluttered. In this room, filled with laughter and shared hopes, how could they conceivably face defeat? Just as she began to imagine the future possibilities, a loud crash echoed from the entrance, followed by startled gasps filling the room. Lily turned to see what had caused the disruption, her heart sinking at the scene unfolding before her. What was happening? Was their moment of unity about to shatter? The room fell silent, the music grinding to a halt as everyone turned to the entrance. Lily's heart raced, an icy finger tracing down her spine. A table full of snacks had tipped over, sodas splattering across the floor. But it wasn't just the mess that held everyone's attention. It was the shadowy figure standing amidst the chaos. A boy, no older than 12, stood there wide-eyed, his chest heaving. He looked lost, a stray sheep among a flock of dancing lambs. His clothes hung off him, not just oversized but worn and faded, telling a story of hardship Lily couldn't ignore. He glanced around the room, uncertainty etched on his face, and Lily felt her heart clutch, a silent plea calling out behind those innocent eyes. "Are you okay?" The gray-haired woman asked, gentle but firm as she approached him. "Did you get hurt?" The boy opened his mouth, and for a moment, nothing came out. Finally, he whispered, I just wanted to help. I thought everyone would want these." With shaking hands, he pointed to a box at his feet. It was a mismatched assortment of homemade treats, cookies, brownies, and a small crumpled sign that read, "For sale to help my sister." Gasps followed the words like ripples in a pond. Lily felt a rush of heat in her cheeks. What had started as a moment of confusion transformed into a wave of compassion that surged through the room. She could feel it rising like a tide, driving away the distant storm of doubt that had been lurking at the edges of her mind. The girl who had excitedly shared her brownie ideas earlier stepped forward, widening her eyes. "You should sell them here. Everyone loves cookies." The boy blinked, looking overwhelmed. I can't. I'm just not good enough." But Lily couldn't help herself any longer. "Who says?" she exclaimed, stepping closer. Her voice was steady, but her heart pounded loudly. "Look at the work you've done. You made all this. That takes real talent." For a heartbeat, the room held its breath, as if suspended in time, waiting for the boy to respond. The boy's shoulders relaxed a fraction, the tension melting away. Slowly, he crouched down, revealing the colorful treats he'd brought, each one a tiny act of love meant for someone he cared about deeply. The gray-haired woman knelt beside him, her voice soft yet powerful. "Every good idea starts with a little courage. Why not try your best here with us? We can all help." An unexpected excitement flickered in the air, igniting a sense of hope. People began to talk, sharing ideas on how they could create a booth for him. Steve, always the voice of motivation, chimed in. "We could set up here right now. The bake sale is not even a week away." Let us shine some light on what this boy is doing. Lily watched as faces lit up with enthusiasm, a wave of connection flowing like an electric current through the group. They were coming together, rallying around this boy, united by compassion. The doubts that had whispered at the back of her mind faded into a soft hum, replaced by something new: excitement to be part of a bigger story. "What is your name?" she asked gently. "Ben," he managed, almost shyly, with a flicker of a smile breaking through the clouds of uncertainty. "Ben, that's a strong name. Let us make this a special day for you and your sister," Lily said, feeling a warmth spread through her. There was something undeniably right about this moment, a sense of purpose that electrified her spirit. Just as excitement swelled, another crash shattered the moment. A group of teenagers, unaware of the unfolding magic, stumbled into the scene, laughing boisterously. The atmosphere shifted, at least for a heartbeat, as whispers of concern rippled through the crowd again. What else was about to unfold? Would this unexpected intrusion interfere with the fragile hope now blooming? Lily's heart raced. Could they keep this moment alive in the face of whatever chaos was to come? Ben flinched as the teenagers crashed through, their laughter ringing off the walls like a disruptive melody. The girl who had just stepped forward to support him held her breath, momentarily caught in the whirlwind of noise and commotion. For a brief moment, Ben's bravery began to shrivel under the careless energy of the new arrivals. "Whoa, look at this place. Who's got snacks?" One of the teens called out, looking around with a glitter of mischief in his eyes. The room held its breath, straining against the tension that shifted like a stormy tide. Ben's fingers curled around the box of treats, uncertainty etching deeper lines on his young face. Lily stepped forward, her own heart thumping wildly. "Actually, he has something special to share," she said, her voice firm. "Ben made these for a really important reason. You should give him a chance." The laughter slowed as the teenagers turned their attention to her. She could see the shifting dynamics, how the lightness they brought threatened to swallow the glimmer of hope that had just been ignited. "What is this? A bake sale?" One girl snickered, eyeing the mismatched cookies. "Simon, are those even edible?" Lily could see Ben's shoulders shrink at the comment. A look of hurt flashed across his face, and she felt her own stomach twist. Why did they have to be so cruel? "No, they look great." Another voice cut in, it was the girl from earlier who had championed Ben. "Ben made these all by himself. They're to help his sister. Everyone loves supporting local talent, right?" The boy from the group, now slightly interested, stepped closer. "Local talent, huh? What is your story, man?" Ben's eyes darted to Lily, a flicker of hope igniting in his chest but mingled with fear. He took a deep breath, seemingly drawing strength from the collective community gathered around him. "I just wanted to sell some to help my sister. She is sick," and his voice wavered. "I thought maybe these could help us." The room quieted again, the air thick with empathy. The sneers began to fade, replaced by the soft murmurs of understanding. "Wow, dude, that's really cool," one of the boys finally said, stepping forward and lifting a cookie from the box. He examined it, a hint of awe in his expression. "Yeah. That's impressive," the girl chimed in. "We could definitely set up some kind of booth we'd help, right?" The other teenagers nodded slowly, as if an invisible knot was loosening between them. The laughter that had tumbled in so carelessly transformed into something richer, a flavor of collaboration. They didn't just see the boy, they felt his struggle, a spark of respect igniting within them. Lily watched as the group began to spread out, encouraging each other, suggesting ways to promote Ben's treats. The shy boy stood a little taller, hope started radiating from him like sunlight breaking through clouds. "Maybe we could make a poster," one girl suggested, her eyes sparkling with ideas. As Ben's face brightened, Lily felt a wave of joy wash over her. This is how magic happens when hearts connect, when courage inspires change. But just as they began to gather supplies for a new booth, a loud voice boomed from the back. What is this nonsense? A tall figure stepped into the room, commanding attention with an imposing presence. The group's excitement hit a wall, and the laughter throttled down to whispers. Lily's heart sank as she recognized him, Ben's neighbor. The man she had heard was prideful and cold, wielding authority over their small community. What kind of ridiculous stunt is this? He asked, a frown deepening on his face. Would this new arrival extinguish the spark they had just lit? Would he crush their hopes right at the cusp of something wonderful? Lily squeezed her hands, heart racing yet again. They had come so far. She had to believe they couldn't let the moment slip away now. Could they stand together against this new challenge? Would they unite for Ben, or would fear and doubt take hold once more? The room fell silent, all eyes trained on the man who had just intruded like a dark cloud covering the sun. The buzz of excitement dimmed, replaced by a tension thick enough to feel in their throats. Ben shifted, his fingers tightening around the box of cookies, the sweet treats now feeling heavy, burdened by the weight of scrutiny. Lily stepped forward, her heart racing. We're just trying to help Ben. He is selling cookies to support his sister. It's a good cause. The man scoffed, his expression hard and unyielding. A good cause? It looks like a pathetic excuse for a handout. This is just a waste of time. The dismissive tone in his voice hung in the air, igniting sparks of anger among the group. One boy couldn't hold back any longer. What is so bad about helping out? You don't even know Ben. He is doing something brave. The man turned to him, eyes narrowing. And what do you know about bravery? This is just a childish whim, nothing more. His words sliced through the energy in the room, but they also ignited a fire within the spectators who watched, caught between fear and anger. Lily could feel the warmth of their courage ripple around her like a blanket, slowly bolstering her resolve. He is not a child playing games. This is real for him. She exclaimed, her voice rising higher than she intended. You think you can just come in here and crush someone's dreams? Ben's voice trembled as he finally spoke, almost a whisper. I am not asking for pity, I just want to do something for my sister. You don't understand. There was a moment of pause, the world around them silenced by his honesty. The man looked momentarily taken aback, but he quickly regained his composure. Do you really think this will solve anything? You might as well just give her the cookies outright rather than sell them. A murmur rippled through the crowd, voices raised in quiet but determined agreement. You don't get it, a girl announced. It's not just about the cookies. It's about Ben trying to make a difference. It's about community. Suddenly, it felt like the tide began to turn. The teenagers rallied around Ben, their spirits refusing to be dimmed. They moved closer, forming a small wall between the man and Ben, a barrier of unity against his harshness. Lily watched, heart swelling. They were fighting back. Steeling herself, she took a step forward, voice steady. We may not have much, but together, we can make an impact. We believe in each other. The group echoed her words, voices rising together in a chorus of encouragement. Yeah, we believe in Ben. The cold demeanor of their neighbor faltered as the collective hope swelled and filled the space, pushing against his hardened resolve. For a split second, he seemed to grapple with something, a flicker of uncertainty, a hint of recognition, perhaps a glimpse of what it means to be part of a community. But just as quickly, his face hardened again. This is absurd. You're wasting your time. This will be the most embarrassing failure you all will face. He turned, arms crossed, but the defiance in his posture quivered slightly with hesitation. Inspired by that flicker of vulnerability, Lily stepped back from the crowd, her heart pounding. It won't be a failure if we try. We won't let your fear of connection define us. With a glance at Ben, she offered him a reassuring grin. We'll make this work. Together. As they gathered around Ben, preparing to shift the negativity back into something beautiful, the energy crackled with determination. Little did they know, the neighbor's presence had left an ember of doubt that might linger. Would their hope be enough to withstand the friction of fear? Or would the looming challenge drive them apart? The crowd sat on the brink of something extraordinary as they began planning, and Ben felt a swell of gratitude for those who had rallied around him. The next move depended not just on him, but on everyone. And that was just the beginning. But what would they do when the storm of doubt returned? Would they stand or falter? The community buzzed with renewed energy, rallying around Ben and his drive to help his sister. Lily felt the warmth of their collective spirit wrap around her like a well-worn blanket. They were ready to push through the negativity looming in the room, determined to turn doubt into possibility. As they began brainstorming, Lily couldn't help but feel a sense of urgency. The stakes were high, and every moment mattered. Let us create a booth at the bake sale. We can invite more local families to sell their treats too. We can call it Baking for Hope. She exclaimed, her voice strong and vital, lighting up the faces around her. The crowd erupted into applause and clever suggestions flew through the air, each idea adding fuel to the fire. We can also create flyers. Someone from the back yelled, and cheers echoed as everyone jumped on board. Ben watched in amazement, the box of treats still clutched tightly in his hands. I didn't think anyone would care, he whispered, but Lily caught it. What? No way. She said, kneeling down to meet his gaze. This is what community means. You're not alone. You're doing something brave, and everyone here believes in you. We're going to rally around you. Together, we can create something bigger. With that, they started planning the layout for the Baking for Hope booth, drawing in more hearts from the crowd, each one adding their own touch of enthusiasm. Banners, decorations, and even participation from local bakeries poured in as volunteers eagerly began drafting flyers, spreading the word, weaving a network of support. But even amid all the positivity, the shadow of doubt still flickered at the edges, cast by the harsh words of the man who had disrupted their moment. Would they truly stand united, resilient enough to face any storm? Lily caught Steve's eye once more, his expression steady, offering strength. No matter what, we have to keep pushing through. We need to take action. Let us not allow the naysayers to dampen our spirits. Focus on Ben. This is about him, Steve said, his voice ringing true. And look at all these people willing to fight for him. Lily nodded, rallying every ounce of her courage as they began to finalize their plans. Each detail ticked off felt like another step away from uncertainty and deeper into hope. As the night wound down, laughter returned, mixed with planning and purpose. Ben's light grew brighter, his smile more radiant. He felt seen, his courage overshadowing the man's negativity, slowly breaking down the walls that had once held tight around him. But behind that courage was a question lingering unspoken: could they endure any setbacks that might come their way? Would the weight of their own struggles press too heavily on them as they ventured into this uncharted territory? Just before evening came to a close, a hand shot up, not Ben's, but one of the teenagers who had initially caused a rift. I want to help too. My dad has a little van we can use to deliver cookies. Let us make our booth visible. I think we can even get some local news coverage if we're pitched right. Gasps of excitement rippled through the crowd, catching Lily's breath in her throat. This was the beauty of community, she realized. People evolving together, casting aside fear, and determined to uplift one another. With all eyes on Ben, a new vote of confidence erupted. Let us see where this takes us, huh? He said, finally letting go of what held him back. I'm in. As they cheered him on, a sense of unity draped over them, forming an invisible shield against the storm of doubts that might return. Days passed, and people stood shoulder to shoulder at the Baking for Hope booth, their joy radiating like sunlight. The community transformed, hearts intertwined, men, women, children all gathered in support of a common cause. The event happened as scheduled, a joyous celebration of hope. The booth, with its array of delicious treats and smiling faces, drew the interest of passers-by, each person stopping to offer a kind word or a donation. The local news even stopped by, broadcasting their efforts and connecting their movement to broader audiences. As the sun dipped low, casting an amber glow across the park where the bake sale took place, Lily watched as Ben sold cookies, his heart brimming with pride. This wasn't just about him, it was about the journey they had taken together, a testament to community, love, and resilience. In that fleeting moment, a bittersweet truth washed over her. Every obstacle, every doubt they'd faced had shaped this beautiful tapestry of connection. They had not only rallied for Ben's cause but had discovered their own strength and purpose as a community. As the evening wrapped up, Lily sighed deeply, her heart swelling with gratitude and joy. It was not just a small victory, it was proof that sometimes all it takes is a little courage to change lives. And as they embraced the hope of a better tomorrow, she knew this was just the beginning. Together, she whispered, glancing at Steve as shimmering lights danced above them. The future felt bright. So if you're looking for more stories that fill your heart and inspire your soul, you need to subscribe to the channel now. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to help the algorithm share these touching tales with more people. Don't wait, not even one more second, to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Your voice matters, and together, we can spread hope far and wide.